Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to pre-market update. And you can see massive gap ups happen yesterday. This is SPX 1 hour chart. If I show you, massive gap up after CPI report. And you can see here inflation is lower than expected. So they've massively gapped up on S&P 500. This is a green dotted line. Now a gap is left here. NASDAQ, same thing, massive gap up here as well. And same thing on Dow Jones, huge gap here and Russell 2000 also gap up. You can see everything was green pretty much yesterday. All the indices, you can see here, all the tech stocks, everything green, okay? Hardly any red. And Bitcoin also pumped. Bitcoin actually touched closer to 100K yesterday with this inflation print. We'll see where we are going now from here. Please hit the like button, guys, and let's review. So let's go with our famous chart on a long-term chart. This is S&P 500. You can see where we are right now. Now the targets here, uh, it came. You can see this US 500 futures came closer to neutral zone, which is white line, and then bounce. A lot of times in a bull market comes to the white line and then bounce, comes very close and bounce. And then obviously if you're a bull, target is 62 63.25, because in a bull market it could go and touch red line. You can see sometimes it overshoots it, and it can go and touch that. So that's 100% can happen. So if you're a bull from here, it can definitely go and touch this by spring 2025. And if you're a bear, it will also touch this green line. So we're kind of above from the neutral line, so it can go definitely from here, go back down there. So that's also quite possible. So around 8.28% is also possible down. So just keep that in mind. All right. RSI, if it goes to green line, but light green background and touches the red line top, that's an area you should be looking to short. You can see whenever it comes here, that's a good area to short. Here you can see good area to short. So right now, let's see, either it comes to the red line, that's where you should be looking to short, or inversely, if it comes to green line, that's where you should be looking to buy. All right, so we'll see when time comes. And in terms of day trading chart, you can see all of these are in the sell zone right now. Nasdaq is in the red line. Basically, got to be cautious here. You can see this is Dow Jones cooling down a bit, and S&P 500 is also near the sell zone right now. And Russell also, you can see yesterday massive gap, and then now in the neutral zone. Bitcoin is also kind of cooling down after touching the red line. Third standard deviation is usually the best area to short, the red line, top red line, and that's where it's going. By the way, guys, if you want to know more about this indicator, click the join button in the description of this video. Join, and I will let me know your user ID in the chat, in the comment box of this video. And I'll move you to Discord, the special Discord for members, where I share these levels for every stock, and also the stock I'm trading, and my trades are also shared there. Okay, so let's go to now daily chart, and let's do analysis based on daily time frame on SPX. Now, looks like we are rallying, but again, like I said, there's still time in this cycle, and there's a big gap up. Now, there's also a gap at the top too, around 6036. So I don't know which gap will fill first. Like if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap down here. This gap is also not filled. So there are two scenarios. Either they can pump it, fill this gap, and then come back down, or they're going to bring it down first to fill this gap and then go higher. I think, in my opinion, they will probably fill this gap because this cycle is coming to the downside, and then it's going to bounce. So we'll see how and when that happens. Just keep that in mind. Right now, it could be still lower high, lower lows. Like if I draw a trend line here, you can see here it's still like still it can still go to afford to go a little higher, and it can reject there as well. This is a new low compared to this low, so it still can be lower high, lower low. So keep that in mind. And in terms of futures, MES, if I go to 1 hour chart, um, you can see some divergences are happening. So price is going higher. There's a new high 1 hour, and then you can see PPO is going lower high, RSI is going lower high. So it can cool down. Okay, it can come back down and touch this previous support around here. So if I go to here, it can definitely come back down here. All right, and this is where it can find support. And 50, let's say around 6,000, and then sorry, 50 900 and then it can bounce. That's where it could fill the gap as well. MNQ, same thing here. You can see divergences, new high with lower high on PP and RSI. So it can definitely go a little lower. So around here and try to find some support uh, in this area around 21,000. All right. So keep that in mind. So let me go to daily chart now. On NDX, you can see same thing here. Support is going to be around 20,000. The gap fill is around 20,761. Come back here, fill the gap. That will be an area you might be looking to buy. It did not fill the election gap here. Okay, just keep that in mind. SPX, it was, if you watch my channel, I was saying since this gap happened, I'm like, this gap will be filled. I just don't know when. And eventually they filled it, um, but creating another gap. So this gap is filled now. They're pumping, but just be careful, guys. Same thing on Nasdaq, and then Dow Jones also massive gap here, and Russell also massive gap. US oil, crude oil. Okay, now in this nice pump from last couple of days, and where would it go next? So it was here. This was the resistance area. It's kind of right there right now. Like if I draw it above, like this whole area, uh, if I, let's say, let's go to this previous high. There's this some resistance here, right? So it can definitely try to now go towards 83, $84. It should, if it consolidates here a bit, that's going to be good because this is a straight line up. Holding here will give some time for moving averages to catch up. And also just remember there's a gap here, which I just checked this morning. You can see this day here from Friday to Sunday on 12th of Jan. It had a gap up and they could afford to bring it way back all the way down to 76 to fill that gap before going higher. So just keep that in mind. So from where we are right now, if they want to bring all the way down, it's going to be around 4% downside move. So that's also possible. So keep that in mind. CNQ very, very weak. Um, don't know what's going on, but holding above this white line, which is 20 moving average. Now there is a gap. I just want to mind you, this 1 hour chart, there is a gap here around 30.89. So they could bring it down to fill that gap. Okay, so just be mindful of that. There was also a gap here, 1.89%. They could bring it down to fill that gap. There's also a gap here, which was filled on this big red candle on Monday, and just a rejection, like a massive rejection. It was above all these moving averages, massive rejection. So we'll see how it goes. Something going on, which I don't know, but you guys gotta keep it a bit higher because if you want to see support and resistances, this was also an area which was acting as a support multiple times and then came back and rejected. Maybe it's going to be another lower, another low. This is low, higher low, maybe before we go higher. So we'll see. Time will tell how it pans out. Bitcoin just consolidating after massive pump yesterday. Again, came to this support area, had a wick below and went up again. Now the good thing is above all moving averages, so just consolidating. So everything is looking okay, but if it breaks below this yellow box, it's going to be a pretty fast selling because there is a gap here around 77K. This is a Trump election gap. It will be filled at some point. It's not if it will be, but just a matter of time when, which we don't know. Ethereum also nice pump above all moving averages. Now it's giving some of it back. Now there's a gap around 39, 37, so they could target that, or they can bring back down to 22.36 as well. So just keep that in mind. There are two targets here. Toronto Stock Exchange, again gap up. So we'll see if they fill this gap. Hang Seng Index, 9 counts buy signal going higher, but again, these three gaps, I'm waiting for them to fill. Bond market had a nice pump yesterday, but getting rejected on this 20 moving average. So let's see if it's going to reject, make a new low, or if it is getting ready for a new pump. We'll see, time will tell. Apart from that, natural gas just consolidating, making, this is a lower high. So let's see if it can make a new high. Seasonality wise, it's bearish from now until March. So we'll see what happens. Gold is making a new high. Wow. Okay. So gold is just going higher, just keeps going higher. and looks like it found a new support area here, and this whole area is now another support, looks like. So we'll see. Silver is also going higher above all moving averages. Nice pump here. Copper is, since it touched this support, again going higher, getting a 9 count sell signal, so just be mindful of that. Sugar finally bouncing from this whole area of support, getting a 7 count buy signal. Wheat, again not able to go above this red line, which is 50 moving average, finding support on this white line, trend line. Corn also above all moving averages, just consolidating. Dollar finally showing some strength. But if dollar goes higher, that's going to be bad for gold and Bitcoin. We'll see how it goes. But finding support on this white line. Dollar showing little divergence as it's going higher, so it can afford to go a little lower and find support. Inversely, if it wants to go higher, around 113, 114 is the target. Apart from that, in terms of FANG stocks, Apple had a 9 count SPY signal on, I think, Monday, going higher. Again, gap here as well. So in front of some massive resistance here. So it's a key time for Apple. Let's see what it does. Apart from that, is there anything interesting? Microsoft had a nice bounce, 2.56%. As soon as it comes to this white line, blue line, it bounces all the time, 200 moving average. And across the board, we had a nice bounce with the big gaps. Okay, so that's the thing which I'm worried about. These gaps, all these stocks created. NVDA did not create a gap, but in front of some resistance here. AVGO also created a gap. Tesla had a massive gap and 8% pump. So AMD also stored some strength there. So we'll see how it goes. UNH down after earnings, and this was a gap here which had to be filled. This gap up, so they're bringing to fill this gap around 520. So you can see how time and time we always fill this gap. That it could act as a support actually. So earnings today, uh, revenue little down 1%. So just kind of freaking out, I guess, market. So we'll see. Another giant Lily LLY is also kind of yesterday was consolidation, but day before was a big sell-off. We'll see. There's a gap here again around 673. They might bring it there as well. So we'll see how it goes. Some of the banks reported massive earnings. Goldman Sachs, massive gap up. JP Morgan, all these gaps could get filled at some point. So just be careful. Okay, that's it for today. And in terms of VIX gaps at the bottom, gap at the top. We'll see if market pumps. If this is going to go down, fill this gap. If market goes down, then it's going to go higher, fill this gap at some point. Time will tell. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Hit the like button on your way out. And if you have any particular stocks you want me to review, add a comment uh, in the comment box, and I will review it tomorrow. Okay, guys, bye.